If you're a Creepshow Art fan, then bless your cotton socks and look away. Or don't. If you clicked on this video, I'd assume you know who Creepshow Art is, but you probably don't have a clue who I am. I'm Mugen Miller, an artist first and a trans guy second. Me being trans is somewhat relevant to this story because I genuinely care about trans people, discrimination, yikesy takes and treatment. Unlike Creepshow Art, I'm not gonna find some artist who drew someone of a marginalized identity and make an entire video about how it's actually fetishization, racist, transphobic or whatever. Feigning outrage because you know standing up for the poor little transgenders is gonna get you views. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love cis allies and I want them to call out transphobia. I very much appreciate that. But maybe like, don't virtue signal hardcore, cause that comes off very disingenuous. I have even more reason to believe she doesn't practice what she preaches, judging by what has come out about her in the past couple of days. Not gonna lie, I've watched maybe 90% of her content, so I would like to think that I've watched enough to say that I know what she's all about. So to start things out, I wanna say that this video will contain slurs, ableism, general pettiness, and some of my own opinions. I would like to keep this as respectful as possible, because at the end of the day I think Shannon deserves human decency. She probably isn't someone we should look up to as a content creator, and no one has to forgive anything she might have said, especially not those who were personally affected. Any personal attacks in the comments will be removed. Even though I enjoyed her content at some point, I've had some criticism of her. First of all, her content got less and less enjoyable and more watered down as time passed. I started watching when she made story times and commentary on pickup artists, which is sorta easy content and you can just make stupid comments about someone that calls themselves an alpha male. Don't get me wrong though, I always thought she was a bit overdramatic, but that's the entertainment of it all. I took her story times with a grain of salt. We all embellish stories to some extent, and though I would like to think she wasn't exactly lying about everything, I did think it was odd that all of this crazy stuff happened to her, like a guy trying to buy her virginity, her being stalked, her accidentally sending nudes to her teacher. Did I care? No, I was amused. When you do story times, it's pretty much your own word against, well, no one's. You can say your friend morphed into a giant walking jelly bean and who's gonna prove you wrong? Except for common sense. I'm not complaining about how she has changed and she used to be better before, because there's better YouTubers I can watch that are actually my cup of tea, like Elisa Jeezy. I love her so damn much. Anyhow, Shannon did change up her content. She started covering more trending topics, which to be fair, I have absolutely nothing against. Get that bread. I would have liked it, or rather appreciated it, if the quality of content didn't drop. But hey, it's not a sin. It's simply smart marketing tactics. What I do want to criticize, however, is that she didn't really adjust her personality while talking about those more sensitive subjects, such as predatory people or just general controversies. I get it, she's hyperbolic, but that's an art form not everyone can master. I'll give an example of when she sorta missed the mark with her over-the-top commentary. In this video titled "The Worst Tumblr Artist Ever," which also says "The Most Racist Tumblr Artist" in the thumbnail, she talks about this one artist that I guess is trying to be inclusive with their art, but they were a little bit off. I'll give it to you, like that one image of the Star Wars dude was not okay. Whether an artist intended something to be racist or not doesn't matter. People have the right to call them out and educate them. But what Shannon is doing, it just ain't it. Sure, maybe you shouldn't draw trans characters like the way they're drawing it. Maybe just don't draw characters like that. Ever. No cis characters, just don't. But to say it's the most horrible piece of work and insinuating that it almost feels intentionally bigoted is a bit odd. Maybe don't do that. At one point she took this fan art of the reboot Ghostbuster movie and said that you can't even tell if this image had racist intentions towards Leslie Jones, and like, I don't know if this is my place to say, but all of them are really stylized, and the only trait that she actually listed off that would make this racist was that she's the only one that has a lip. First of all, she's black, and unlike us white people, they often have lips. Secondly, saying that she's the only one shown to have lips is actually just blatantly not true. This other chick also has lips. I'm sorry, I don't know her name. All I'm gonna say is that, judging by that picture, I really just don't think that the artist drew it because they're racist and wanted to hurt Leslie Jones' feelings. Which Shannon straight up said that she would have assumed if she just stumbled upon this picture.
It feels like it was done in malice. Like, if I were to stumble across this image during that time frame, I would say, wow, this person sure fucking hates Leslie Jones and is trying to hurt her feelings. And not, wow, this artist loved the movie so much they wanted to immortalize this in a piece from the heart, which is apparently what they were trying to do.
It all feels so performative because there's very little substance and she's acting as if this is on tunes. She doesn't really give any insight, her research is very lazy, everything is dragged out by 1,000. I have nothing against trigger warnings, I think they're great. State what sensitive subjects may come up and move on. But holy cow, this girl makes trigger warnings like no one else and will go on a rant about how we as an audience are precious, drink water, ooh woo, good vibes. I don't mind positive reminders and showing some love. But when you do that in more than one video and drag it out, it comes off as milking watch time under the guise of mental health. I can't really prove that she doesn't truly care about all the topics she talks about, but it doesn't really come off as truly genuine when all she does is give us the most lukewarm take and repeatedly say, this is bonkers, this is so bonkers that a human person would do something like that. As I'm writing this script, I'm slowly realizing that she is a lot like Leafy if he was a hashtag girl boss. Doesn't really help that she was Keemstar's lapdog for some time, just like Leafy back in the days. History repeats itself, doesn't it? Like I've already said, I think her quote-unquote activism has always felt really shallow, and to me, she kind of reminded me of an anti-SJW with a thin coat of wokeness. Hashtag girl boss, babes, yes. I know, it's an odd combination, but now I have more substantial evidence, and it is, in the words of Shannon herself, bonkers.
I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm a little bit of a troll online. Like, I will go online just to kind of ruffle some feathers on purpose and just watch the chaos that ensues afterwards while drinking some water and burning some sweet-ass candles.
She ain't lie, she do be a little bit of a troll, but not in the way that Trisha Paytas is a troll. No, this troll lives under a bridge known as lolcow.farm. For those of you that don't already know, lolcow is a somewhat anonymous message board where you share your brutally honest opinion about internet personalities, and it can be a little bit toxic, you know. I say somewhat anonymous because there are exceptions. You see, there's a few rules to this message board that are relevant to this story. 8. Do not attempt to use lolcow.farm for attention or profit. 9. Do not deceptively post about yourself in the third person for any reason. 10. Do not advertise. 3. Do not dox any subjects. 3.2. Do not share names, pictures, or social media of people unrelated to the drama being discussed. For example, family, friends, or co-workers. Why are these rules relevant? Because there's yet another rule. 2. You may revoke your own anonymity only if your identity is essential to the information you're providing. Staff will revoke your anonymity if you attempt to deceive lolcow.farm. After doing all of the above, Creepshow Art was exposed by the lolcow admins, allegedly. I mean, personally, I believe it really is her, and from what I've seen, the majority of people agree. I'll be the first one to say that I'm not the most technologically literate, so if Shannon or someone else comes forth with evidence to prove her innocence, then I'll make a follow-up video, but right now, it's not looking too good. Again, this is alleged, don't sue me. There's been previous outings after a similar incident, I think, that were confirmed by the outed. That somewhat adds to the legitimacy. The Twitter user dishsoap1234 that made the thread with the screenshots from lolcow added some anonymous DMs where someone explained that, I quote, Shannon's posts come from different IPs. However, what ties them together and confirms it's her is that all of them have the same cookies, also known as same browser, which undoubtedly proves it's her. I'll put the more in-depth explanation on screen, pause to read if you wish. But surprise, surprise, Shannon likes to talk a bit of shit behind the scenes. I could have guessed that myself. Are we really that surprised that the person who makes poorly researched videos yelling and calling everyone dummies likes to talk smack in private? No, however, the contents of it is what makes it pretty upsetting. So what's least problematic is her blatant self-posting and posing as random people to hype herself up and defend herself, which is kinda cringe. In response to this comment about her "I was stalked for 8 years" video she wrote, I watched it, and it kind of explains a lot about why she says she's more used to getting hate. Her being on lolcow kind of seems like how she copes with shit after years of someone attacking her online. Makes sense why she's so standoffish. Also, her art in the video has improved a lot. Like, she does hands and the colors actually work nicely together. Again, not really hurting anyone, I guess, but it's kinda cringe, once again. The compliment is just really funny to me. Could you imagine if I got my own thread and I go on there and say stuff like, first of all, that turf deserved it. Also, Miller is looking really swole lately. Pretty sure he has an 8-pack and he's cis. It's not very subtle, and someone even responded to that with, are you talking about yourself in third person? Creep. Which is against the rules. And Creep clapped back stating, anyone talking about Creep is Creep herself, confirmed. Get her, Shannon. How dare she assume that you are yourself? I also want to add that the little blingy bling that says, this is not okay, shows us which comments belongs to allegedly Shannon, which was added by admin so that it would be easy to spot as you go through the thread, I guess. Just a fun fact. But speaking of stalkers, she has made 2 videos about her stalker of 8 years. I think they made up some time ago. I'm not gonna comment on whether I think she has ever actually had a stalker, and I urge you to do the same. I don't even want to risk minimizing someone's trauma, but what I can say is that it's fair to assume that it might be a little bit exaggerated, especially after seeing Creepshow Art's response to all of this. If I understand the timeline correctly, when she first was supposedly outed, she removed the community posts as to avoid people commenting about what's currently going on and avoid bringing it to others' attention. Doing that on its own is still kind of suspicious, but don't worry. Shannon knows just how to cover that up by changing her profile picture and banner to a glitchy image of the originals. It would signal to her viewers that she had been hacked, because they're doing hacker things such as making images glitchy rather than, I don't know, deleting all her content or something. But she's back, because her profile is back to normal. I don't know if she addressed the spooky hacker glitchy images or if that's just something we're supposed to ignore. Whatever the case, She addressed the lolcow stuff in her community tab, and she explained everything, and it all makes sense now. She can't remember doing any of that, but she, being modern Sherlock Holmes, figured out exactly what must have been happening. Her stalker she has talked about at length in videos has been posing as her and spoofing her IP for years on an anonymous message board, even after they had reconciled and she had made a video about it. It's her stalker, Amy, guys. I'm really starting to like this ARG. There's only one tiny problem, and that is that's not how spoofing IPs work. Am I gonna explain it? No, because I don't understand it either. But there's multiple people on Twitter and in videos that has already sort of kind of debunked it. What I can say, however, is that it doesn't really make sense that someone would go to the extent of spoofing your IP for almost 3 years on an anonymous message board without even knowing that this is what it all would boil down to. They couldn't have predicted that the admins would revoke their anonymity. If we're to believe that this Machiavellian stalker was trying to frame you, wouldn't you think that they would say something more damning? Don't get me wrong, she did say and do some bad stuff, but that just makes her look two-faced and petty. If you're putting this much effort into making it look realistic, then you can do better than just saying a couple of slurs. But that's just my 2 cents. And maybe Amy's just like that. I mean, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't all the stars align to make Creepshow Art look like the bad person? Alas, you're probably wondering what she said that was that terrible. Or you don't because you already seen it because it's on Twitter, lolcow, and you've already watched Omnia's video. If not, go check it out. First of all, she shit-talked a bunch of her fellow creators. I just want to add that please do not push any creators to make a statement, whether they were mentioned or has been associated with her. Let them deal with this in private, and if they want to comment on it, it's up to them. Anyways, first off, we have a comment about her friend Ready to Glare saying, she is too. Women are predators too, guys, as Blair White is too. These trans people are weird. I'm gonna be honest, I struggle to understand exactly what she's trying to say here, but I do recognize that she's trying to insult her. She made 2 whole comments about D'Angelo Wallace. First one states, D'Angelo, the guy that everyone pretends to like but no one really does. He tried to get in tight with a lot of them, and because he talked about drama and made Holly look like a tool, they befriended him for safety. I think Holly sucks, but before HUD video came out, no one in the community said shit. Then she decided to rebrand and delete, and it's pretty much 0 still. They're all scared of that. And the second one says, he's worse than Creepshow, at least she has the ability to grow and is doing something completely different than what she started with. He's doing the same thing on repeat, acting like he's doing something big, and now admits to creeping on lolcow. Oh, the irony, trying to put down another creator for even mentioning lolcow when you yourself is posting on it. At the same time as it surely must have been hurtful to find out that your friend has been writing about you, I don't think, or at least I wouldn't like to think, that she actually believed in what she's saying. Does that make it okay? Absolutely not. I think it's out of jealousy, and that's something she has to work on. However, it gets worse. She was caught in a thread speculating about another YouTube's sexuality. Not any YouTuber, one of her friends. I'm not gonna say which one because I find it so disgusting. She said, they're in a long-distance relationship though, so it doesn't really change anything. He only has to pretend to like women at most 1 month of the year. Yikes. That's a big yikes. Yeah, that's a yikes. For being such an outspoken LGBTQ plus ally, it sure is jarring to read these posts. Like this one about herself. Shannon never says she's poly, just pansexual, which is a woke bisexual. It's the whole there are more than 2 genders thing. Alright then, casual ambiphobia when talking about your own sexuality. Yeah, that's odd. But you do you, I guess. She called someone the T-slur only a year ago, so it's not like she didn't know any better. And my favorite, No sane person cares Holly is Fujo. Only fake boys would whine about something like this. Let me translate that for those of you that still have a brain. Fujo is someone who likes yaoi, which is anime gay porn. There's some debate as to whether it's gay fetishization and so forth, but according to Shannon, only fake boys would care about someone liking yaoi. A fake boy, I just learned, is a girl that pretends to be a boy online for attention. So basically, it's a slur towards trans men, more often gay trans men if I'm correct. As a trans guy, I can confirm that these people do exist. I am one. I just love the attention I get for being a boy. Uwu. I just love getting infantilized online and in real life. Gay little trans boy. Uwu. No, I'm just kidding. I hate it. Don't call trans men fake boys. She also uses the R slur pretty liberally and uses autistic as an insult. And as an autistic person myself, yeah, that sucks. However, I don't know if I'm just so desensitized to it, but I hear people say that stuff like all the time, and even been in friend groups where that's the norm. I wish it wasn't, but if I viewed it as the biggest sin ever, I would have to hold a lot of grudges. Maybe I just need therapy though. Let me know in the comments if you think I should put up with ableism. Now, all of this is nothing in comparison to what she posted onto lolcow in March this year. It all started with Shannon making a video for an Insta story that she supposedly accidentally made public, as she explains.
Did I accidentally post a story for close friends that went public? Yes, I did. Did I give any information? That is too bad. No, I didn't. I don't know. Blah. I don't know. Also, can someone tell me how to get over the fact that someone told me that I was supposed to be the fuck up of the family and they were supposed to be the good one? How do you deal with that?
Whether that was an accident or not remains unclear, but seeing as she herself did respond to that on lolcow and doxing her own sister, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities that she was a teeny weeny bit pissed and wanted people to see it. She wrote, "I didn't save it, but the gist was Shannon's sister is in the hospital for something, we don't know what." And she put her as her emergency contact. However, when Shannon reached out to her to figure out what was going on, her sister blocked her and said she was invading her privacy. She also said something along the lines that her family was neglecting her, even though Shannon reached out? ? It's really weird. A couple of years ago I found her sister's Twitter because she talked about it in the story time, and she's definitely insane. And her sister's Twitter handle. Let me remind you that this is against lolcow's rules, and though she's already broken several of them, this was very likely the last straw that led to her outing. Again, if this truly is Shannon, cause it's only alleged, and I'm saying that for legal purposes. However, tension between family members is something you talk to your therapist about, not doxing your sister on an online forum. This isn't the first time she's complained about her sister online. She's done so in story times. I can recall her calling them a crazy SJW and things of that sort. It's normal to fight as siblings, maybe not always to this extent. However, the public has no business knowing their social medias. That's why I'm gonna leave it here, because I'm not comfortable talking about someone who isn't a public figure and is in fact just a sibling of the subject that was seemingly dragged into this. Now that we've established that Creepshow Art probably isn't that credible, I'd like to end it on a more light-hearted note. Okay, maybe not light-hearted, it's still kinda shitty, but at least it's not about backstabbing, technically, I think. Yeah, you know Corpse Husband, the guy we're all simping for, he who makes me crave testosterone so bad because my voice is high-pitched in comparison. He whose gender I want.
I'm gonna get exposed.
Exposed in what way?
My
gender. Anyways, Shannon has made 2 videos about him, and in her first one called The Hate Surrounding Corpse Husband, she talked about, well, The hate surrounding Corpse husband. Despite me not knowing much about Corpse myself, actually, that's a lie. Most of what I've seen from him and his fans is wholesome, good vibes, I like him. All my homies have bought his merch, it's dope. But this being the internet, there are some goofballs out there that do not very pog stuff, such as not respecting the privacy of a YouTuber that doesn't want to show his face. That YouTuber being Corpse husband. You know, that sounds rather familiar. A group of people obsessing over a person, being overall hateful and trying to dox him. It kinda reminds me of lolcow. Who would have thought there's a thread on lolcow dedicated to doing just that? And look who just so happens to be posting there. None other than Creepshow Art herself, commenting, "There is something so genuinely funny about a girl getting his avatar tattooed under her boobs. She'd be unfuckable at that point." Regarding a girl's corpse husband tattoo, to which I would politely like to disagree with. I'm completely done with people thinking that tattoos should have a deeper meaning. If it makes her happy, then good for her. I've got a Furby tattoo on my arm for no other reason than I thought it looked dope as fuck. I've had people ask me why I choose to get this tattoo, and I'm like, I don't know, it makes me happy. And if she wants the eagle ruin my life dude on her stomach, then I'm happy for her. To be perfectly crystal clear, she didn't say anything bad about Corpse, from what I found. She didn't participate in trying to dox him, but it's somewhat disappointing to see her participate at all, especially demeaning his fans after making a video about how others think it's cool to talk smack about his fans. Grow up. And before I go, please don't attack anyone mentioned in this video. Don't attack Shannon, I don't hate her. Two wrongs don't make a right. I think she needs to be held accountable, but she doesn't need to be attacked in drones. Also, even though the evidence is pretty damning, it's still ongoing, and there might come out information that could completely change everything, and if so, I'll make a video correcting myself. Again, don't message any of her friends about this. It's not easy to find out that your friend probably is two-faced, so don't treat this as some sort of drama they need to get involved with. If you liked this video or found it informative, give it a like, maybe even subscribe. Comment your thoughts, follow me on Twitter, link in description. Take care, and I'll hope to see you in my next video. Bye.